I think, like, to start, just in general, what do you feel like has happened in from 4.7 to 4.8, and where are we at in terms of the jungle after the Feral Flare nerfs?
So pretty much everything Feral Flare sucks ass, I think. It's really not good. Going with Lizard item, if you're going for DPS junglers, or Ancient Golem, is by far the best option. Feral Flare takes way too long. Aside from that, it's pretty much playing on the jungle before Feral Flare came around. And yeah, so it's pretty much Lee Sin over everything. Lee Sin is a god right now.
Who is?
Lee Sin.
Oh, is he really?
Oh yeah, by far the best jungler right now.
So would you say Feral Flare isn't viable for like anybody?
I would never buy Feral Flare in LCS.
But remember, this is for solo queue.
I wouldn't buy Feral Flare in solo queue.
Oh wow, okay.
I'm playing Yi. I'll play Yi in solo queue, but I'd buy Lizard.
You'd buy Lizard?
Yeah.
Okay, you'd never buy it in solo queue, like almost never.
No.
I tried to 2v1.
Okay. So write that down. And so in terms of powerhouses, you're feeling, do you feel like Elder Wizard is still probably the best buy for offensive jungling?
Yeah, even though I got a tiny little nerf as to sustain, it's still really, really good. I mean, even in lower ELOs, Feral Flare just isn't a match. It takes so long to farm. I mean, it doesn't take that long, but you can do so much more with Lizard. It's not that Lizard just gives you much more power earlier, and that's what you want. I mean, in solo queue, you want to be able to just be as strong as possible all the time, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, Lizard's just gonna be better for that.
Okay. So, and what circumstances would you actually use Golem, and what kind of junglers at this point?
I would use Golem on junglers that are not that are tank oriented, that I don't want to do damage on, that I just want to be a tank.
Any example?
So, just looking at the list right now, I'd do it on Elise.
Okay.
Elise, I don't want to do damage, just want to be a tank. I would use it on Olaf. I just want to be a tank. I don't need damage. I do true damage. I use it on Shoga. Hecarim is a viable option, but I think Lizard's better on him.
Okay.
Amumu is definitely a viable option if you pull that off. Maokai, just things that you don't need damage on. New. Like when you're just focusing on being a tank, you need to be up there in the front lines. Go for the Ancient Golem is better.
Okay. How do you feel about the jungle in general as a meta choice, and like Riot kind of moving in 4.9, moving towards trying to make us less control oriented? They still say that the jungle has too much control. I kind of don't feel like that. Like I feel like it's the opposite, and that we just kind of get progressively nerfed. But is jungle still capable of making a significant impact in the game in 4.8? Or
I think so completely. I think jungle is the most impactful role by far. The thing is that it's a different way of looking at impact, right? You don't have the ability to carry a game, and you're not going to even be recognized for carrying a game. You're just going to be putting pressure, and you're going to enable somebody else to carry a game. So if you look at what presence is an impact in the game, then obviously the jungle would be the leader in that. But that's because you're using your power to snowball somebody else, right? That's the power you have in the jungle. You're basically translating your strength. You're babysitting somebody else, and just pretty much carrying their hand, holding their hand until they can take over the game, because the champions you're playing from the jungle just don't have the ability to do that.
I see. So in that respect, are you still all about, like the last time we talked about this, you're all about like camping single lanes and like just making it so it's like such destructive power that person gets so far ahead? Is that still like your main strategy? Okay, in solo queue. So basically camp a single lane and absolutely snowball that.
I mean, not just camp a single lane. If you can just help every lane, then that'd be even better. Because what would happen is that you simply snowball everyone, and then all of your teammates carry.
So does that mean that you're hugely gank oriented right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Hugely gank oriented. Just because, I mean, just the way I think about it is, even though in solo queue a lot of times I can say, yeah, well, I'm just gonna play, I don't know, I'll play Master Yi, and I'm just gonna start farming a lot. Yeah, Master Yi's a champion that if it gets late game, I'll be able to carry. If it gets Tryndamere, I'll be able to carry. But it's not an easy carry, right? It takes time. If I'm playing something else, like let's say Elise Sin, I know for a fact I'm not going to be able to carry. But instead of farming, I can just go to my lanes that will be late game champions, help those guys out, and then it's going to be a piece of cake. That means that if you're playing the jungle successfully, you basically need to play for like 10 minutes of a 30-minute game, and then the rest of the time do nothing but just be able to pull a smite. Because if you snowball your team, you don't have to do anything.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, then are you not camping one lane, or you're just literally basically barely farming now and using, and that's why Feral Flare is even less viable, because you think that it's so gank oriented. So I think that the very first thing we should do is probably, should we up the gank scaler for this meta, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. You should up the gank scaler. Just because, yeah, you can pull it off farming. I think if you really want to go with a Feral Flare oriented route, sure, go for that, but you need to understand that you're not going to be helping your team at all. As soon as you say you're going to be completely devoted about yourself, and then you're going to put it upon yourself to have this burden of single-handedly 1v5ing pretty much, because your whole team's going to be struggling along the entire laning phase, trying to figure out what to do without any jungler pressure.
And what I noticed was with Feral Flare, when I'm trying to go Feral Flare now, I'm spending so much time trying to farm the item that gives the other jungler the chance to just completely dominate the lanes that I have. And basically there's 10 minutes of me doing nothing, and then the game is lost in the early laning phase.
Exactly, yeah. And then it's like, well, yeah, I'm a 200 CS Master Yi, but how am I going to really be able to deal with this, like, 6-0 LeBlanc? Probably not.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's why I don't think it's that viable. Just because if you're able to play, if for some godforsaken reason you'd be able to play LeBlanc jungle and get crazy farm, yeah, go for it. Never gank. If that was a thing, there was some crazy item you could somehow path, and you could jungle LeBlanc and get crazy farm on it, by all means, go for it.
Yeah.
But that's just not the case.
Yeah, it makes no sense. So would you say that we put it to a 9?
Let me just see the scaler.
So currently at a 7.
Yeah, you can put it at a 9.
And has clear become any more or less important at this point?
Actually, I'd put gang scaler at, yeah, 9's good, and then clear is probably a 5. It barely matters at this point.
Okay, again because of the Feral Flare change. All right. And how about early presence?
Early game presence, 10.
Okay, it's gone
Actually,
up.
9's fine. 9's
fine. Okay.
We'll just have to tone down the late game one, because the late game one is not that important anymore.
So what would you rate it at?
Late game's probably around anywhere from an 8 to a 7.
So why is that?
I mean, right now, just because as a jungle, your late game presence is not the focus anymore. Your focus is going to be able to snowball your team earlier.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're basically taking these junglers that you know are not going to be useful late game, because you know you're just going to be snowballing your opponents, your teammates. So you don't need to be that strong early game, strong late game. Your job is to just babysit your teammates until they can take over for you.
Okay. Then in that respect, how about team fight presence?
Team fight at 8 is fine.
8 is good.
Your team fight does need to be strong as a jungler, obviously, because that's literally the only way you're going to be able to actually translate to being remotely more than a ward at late game.
Yeah. Okay. And then objective control?
10's fine, but I feel like every jungler has pretty much almost impeccable objective control.
Okay.
At least the ones that are being played right now.
Well, we'll revisit that once we get to the list. So then about versatility, currently at a 4. Basically, versatility again was the ability to pick this in any composition. How viable it is to be picked into a composition.
It doesn't need to be. That's not that important.
Okay, so still a 4.
It's all about the early game right now. Early game getting ganks are really important.
I mean, maybe we should put that at a 10 then for early game.
Yeah, early game is really important.
Okay.
Early game ganks, clear like a 5. Late game like a 9, 9 or 8. Actually 8. 8's probably better late game. 8 or 7.
Okay.
I think a lot of junk.
8 or 7 late game. Okay, got that. So then we can just shuffle and see where we're at right now. Let's see.
Like not many people can use mana.
Oh, you mean champions?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you meant player.
We'll see how that changes the list.
Not like a skill to use that.
So currently we have Vi, Xinjiao, and Jax, Kha'Zix, and Lee Sin at the top in that order. Do you feel like Lee Sin should be higher up at this point?
I feel like we need to make Lee Sin be the #1 jungler.
Okay. So to do that, we give him a 10 on ganks because I think he's probably has the best ganks in the game, right?
He has 10
Yeah.
ganks.
10 on early presence.
By far, yeah.
Yeah. And then most likely an 8 on late presence.
Man, maybe I'm too biased, but I would give this guy like 10 out of 10 in everything. He's so good right now.
Yeah, okay. I mean, he can be picked into any composition right now. Yeah.
Because okay, we'll give Lee 10 in ganks for sure, 10 in early presence. Late game presence 7, that's fine. It's very understandable.
Yeah, it's an 8 right now. Yeah.
Team fight a 9, at least a 9. Because if you can pull off the thing about Lee is that if you play him poorly, you
make it so hard to
basically are like a 1 in a team fight.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. So we can write as a little note, skill dependent, and I think that's pretty fair. So people kind of because we have that little notes section.
Extremely skill dependent.
Yeah. And that puts Lee at God tier status, the yellow, which we don't have a lot of.
Then if you play Lee poorly, your kick is going to be garbage.
Yeah.
You can probably kick and save someone. But if you play him like a god, if you can land a 5-man kick in a team fight, you can do a 5-man kick, engage with a Randuin, slow, Tempest, cripple, and survive. That's amazing, right?
Yeah.
That's just what you need in solo queue. That's amazing. The fact that you can basically single-handedly just obliterate a team by your sheer skill is really good.
Are you still building him all damage?
No, not full damage. I mean, honestly, every time I play him in solo queue, if it goes really well, I'll just go Lizard. And just with Lizard, I'm strong enough to just constantly 1v1 anybody pretty much. I mean, if I really need more damage, I'll go for a little bit more. But you should be able to get shit done before finishing, before needing to build more damage than Elder Lizard and stuff.
Okay.
I don't want to go for that much damage. If you can't play Lee and carry before getting more damage than Elder Lizard, then you're playing him wrong.
Okay. Do you still feel like Vi should be the second best?
No.
So what happened to Vi?
I think Vi is really good. The issue with Vi is that her early game presence is not that good. That's what's lacking about her.
Okay.
Her team presence is great, objection control, versatility. She's a great champion, but it's just her early game presence. She's like her level 1 is terrible, right?
Okay.
Her level 2 barely better. Her level 3, okay, now she's getting places. Level 4, okay, now she can defend herself.
So maybe we can lower her down for like a 6 in early presence, and that alone will drop her really far.
That'd be pretty.
And so that puts her at like the 5th place, which is fine.
One guy that I think I want to put up higher there, that'll be a newcomer to the list, would be Jarvan. I think Jarvan's
really
good. Yeah, I think Jarvan's getting really good.
So what about him makes him so good?
So his clear is garbage, right? We all know his clear is terrible.
It is.
His ganks are a 10 out of 10. His ganks are amazing.
Okay.
Right? He walks up to you, slows you, then you hit flash, he combos you, you somehow get out of that, he ulties you.
Yeah.
Really strong ganks. In the early game, he's got great presence, great ganks. He can defend himself. He's got a strong late game presence because he can always provide that ultimate. He can always provide that CC. And if you actually look at the numbers on Jarvan, late game, if you hit a level 5 shield on 5 people, that's like 500 shield. It actually is base 500 something shield. Like, that's ridiculous.
That's insane. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And I mean, his objective control is not that great because he doesn't really clear stuff, but he's good at baiting stuff. His versatility is pretty high. He's a good engage, you know, a good disengage. So he's just a really strong around early game jungler, and that's what you're really looking for right now.
Okay.
That's all that you wanted to look for before Pharaoh Flare got introduced. So this tier list is mostly focusing around, in my opinion, just the jungle as it was before Pharaoh Flare was introduced. Now, the good thing about it is that it pretty much exposed the Pharaoh Flare jungles to the current meta,
right,
and allowed it to be played. So now Nocturne is viable, Master Yi is viable, Shyvana jungle. I'm sure you could play her in solo queue pretty well if you go Elder Lizard and then tank. Does quite a bit of damage, and Shyvana is incredibly broken, so I'm sure she'll be just fine.
Okay, so Shyvana's still very strong. This puts Jarvan tied with Kha'Zix for 3rd place, if we do it that way. And that actually brings me to Kha'Zix, and I really can't figure out where to put this guy. It feels like Kha'Zix is still a really strong champion overall, but lost a lot when he was not able to tower dive as much. Even still, super strong still. What do you think?
A thing about Kha'Zix is that you're gonna get this quoted. It's gonna be that you hit in LCS. He had like an 0-8 record, right? He didn't win a single game.
Yeah, he was terrible. Yeah,
that's not the champion itself. I think the champion is still very strong, but the thing is that the champion has weaknesses, right?
Yeah.
Before, you'd play the champion, be like, okay, he can just dive into you, kill you, he's stealth. Oh shit, where is he? He's gonna kill my team and tank it all at the same time. What's happened every time now is that people are playing things that reveal it, right? So now you play Kha'Zix into Lee Sin. It's like, well, you jump in, there he is, right? Just run or kill him. Or you play him against Lulu, okay, well, there he is. So people are playing things that can just keep this guy on check or just kind of CC him while he's stealth. So he's not that useful anymore. I still think he's a perfectly very good pick in solo queue. I would definitely pick him very often in it. I mean, the thing is, in solo queue, you're finding yourself making individual plays a lot of the time. So this is that champion that the plays he's going to make is going to be killing the other guy, not CC them to that.
So do you think he's decent where he is?
Clear 6, ganks are A, early presence A, late presence 9. I think he's probably a 10 at a late presence. So his late's really damn good.
That's crazy. Like that, we're talking like Jax level weight then?
Oh yeah, yeah. If you get 6-item Kha'Zix is amazing.
Okay, I mean that puts him as the 2nd best jungler right now. That might be legit though.
We'd have to, yeah. I mean, I think if this is solo queue speaking, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Because the thing is, he also has that crazy early game ability to just find somebody and 1v1 them really easily in the jungle. Because even though they increase the isolation range, if you're in the jungle, you're gonna be isolated. You're 1v1 in the jungle, so the isolation barely affected his 1v1 in the jungle.
Jax, I have rated very, very high. I actually love Jax for solo queue. I don't know if he deserves the rating he's at, though I'm not sure what you think. What do you think?
Let's see. I played him a bit I put him a bit in solo queue just to see where he's at. I liked him a lot. I tried him with Pharaoh Flare before it was nerfed. I played him with Pharaoh, with regular, with Elder Lizard. Personally, prefer the Elder Lizard because I feel like your gank is pretty strong with QE, and I think he's in the right spot, to be honest. I think those are accurate representations of how the champion works.
Okay.
The thing about it is that even though you're putting Jax in the jungle, I think you'd be getting more out of it putting him top, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
That's why, even though he could be a strong champion there, you're kind of missing out on the potential and the ability that he has to single-handedly just carry a game from top lane.
Okay.
So it's going to take you a little bit. If you want to be playing Jax as a split pusher, it takes a little bit of coordination or just pre-planning with your top laner, saying, "Hey, look, I want to be going top later and just split pushing, even though I'm the jungler. You're going to have to group and basically take my place." That's not something that really happens in solo. If you're top lane Jax right off the bat, you just start split pushing already. You don't need to do any of that. So I I think even though he's strong, I definitely like him. I'd see him top every game. I wouldn't want to play him. I would rather have him as my top player every time.
Before we go into like general glaring errors, what about Xin Zhao? We currently have him as number 3, actually, I think. And I personally think he's incredible for solo queue. And even viable LCS, but what do you think?
Let's see, we have ganks. Yeah, they're pretty damn good ganks. I think he's pretty good in solo queue, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think especially in low elo solo queue, he's a really strong champion.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that I don't know if this isn't something that I guess is included, but just the ability to just mess up on him is really high. So
is it?
Yeah, because he only has one direction, right?
Yeah.
So then you're not messing up mechanically on him. The way you mess up is making a poor decision and engaging in a shitty situation. And what happens is, well, you died, and then now you're falling behind, and then the next time you go in, you're gonna die even quicker. Mm-hmm. So then it takes a lot of thought if you're in close games to know when to go in or when not to go in.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so but played well, does he deserve his position?
Yeah, I think played well, a good Xin can be really useful. The issue, like against the right team comp, if you don't have a crazy kiting team comp or you have a team comp that helps you engage, yeah, I think Xin's pretty strong. I mean, he's one of the few champions that can defend himself against Lee Sin. That's already a pretty damn good bonus.
Yeah. So I'm gonna lower his versatility a little bit then. If it's
not very versatile at all.
Yeah, he's not very versatile. Okay.
No, I would not pick him on if I wanted to engage. If I saw that it had a Nidalee, I would not want to pick Xin Zhao.
Okay. Do you see any of the champions on tier 1 that glare out at you as needing to move up or down right now? Anyone in the purple tier?
I don't think my thing is updating, by the way.
No?
Yeah, I'm just gonna refresh this.
That's because I think I didn't link you here.
Okay, I just refreshed and it's updated. Okay. It's got Lee Sin, Kha'Zix, Jarvan, Sin, Jax, Vi, Pantheon.
I just sent you the one that actually should update 100%. Yeah, that one should be the right one.
Yeah. Okay, I got it.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And now it's updating. Okay.
Okay.
Lee, Kha'Zix, Jarvan, Sin, Jax, Vi, Pantheon, Evelyn, Shyvana, Messi. Yes, there is already one right off the bat. We need to see Elise up there.
Okay. So she's barely tier 1 right now. What do you think needs to be improved on her?
Her early presence is really good.
Yeah.
So she's definitely a 10 in early presence.
Really? As good as Lee?
I'd go for an 8. 8 presence is pretty good. She doesn't put that much damage anymore.
Wait, an 8 on early presence?
Yeah, 8 in early presence. Okay. Ganks are a 9. Her clear is like a 7.
Okay.
Clear is not that great.
We're making her worse.
We're gonna improve. It's gonna be her late presence. Her late presence is gonna get a 10 out of 10.
Why is that?
Team fight. That's because the new build on Elise is the CDR Cocoon Max build, which means that you're having 6-second cooldown on a 2-second stun every time.
That's so brutal. Yeah.
A lot of CC. You're pretty much just a CDR Cocoon. You're all just tank and crowd control, which makes her a really strong pick because even though you have that, you still have a little bit of percentage damage, which is nice. And then you're just like a huge nuisance in the enemy team just because you can pretty much repel on like an 8-second cooldown. So you just repel. That gives you more time to be invulnerable, reposition, and then just keep far. All you do is just reposition, avoid abilities with your stun, with your repel, and then just keep stunning people. All you are is that cocoon. So that cocoon alone, a 2-second stun, honestly, and such a low cooldown is amazing. So late game, really good ability, especially obviously as you get levels, it gets lower cooldown.
Awesome. So that puts her at 841, which would put her at top 5 pretty much. I think she's 6. Let me see. 841 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So she's number
I mean,
5 now.
her team fight would definitely be like a 10.
Wow. That
Yeah.
would make her incredible.
Right.
Like that'd put her in
Yeah.
top 3 if we did.
Yeah, I think she's definitely top 3
All right.
for sure.
Mhm.
Her cocoon, the ability to CC so hard is amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think this is honestly right. Elise is definitely bannable. I
Mhm.
think she's by far. I mean, I wasn't a believer at first. I was thinking, oh well, I'm gonna be just playing Spell Pen Eve, and I'm gonna be Evelyn and
Yeah.
Elise, and I'm just gonna do a lot of damage. But then I tried CC build, and it's like, holy shit, I can just stun people forever.
Why does she deserve such a high team fight?
The cocoon is amazing.
Okay, because it's basically a
It's the
4
cocoon
second.
and repel. It's cocoon and repel. That's it. That's
Yeah.
the only thing she has.
All right,
And
but that's so good that it.
she's kind of like Lee. If you miss it, then you're really messing up. But if you land every cocoon in a team fight, just think about it. A team fight could last. Let's say a sloppy team fight in solo queue lasts you like, I don't know, 20 seconds.
Mhm.
That's 3 cocoons already. You can keep somebody stunned in that team fight for
Indefinitely.
6 seconds. 6 seconds on your own. You throw a cocoon, you dodge some shit with repel, reposition, throw another one out, and then just keep the other guy stunned. If you can actually hit somebody that matters,
Mhm.
that's amazing. Like no other jungler has that long of an actual crowd control, right? So
That's true. Yeah.
that's
Mhm.
it.
Yeah. At least on that low of a cooldown.
Exactly.
Okay.
So then the only ones that I want to move up for solo queue, okay, we have Lee, we have Elise up there, Kha'Zix, Jarvan. I think we should move Jarvan down a little bit, but we're just speaking out loud. Jax, Vi, Pantheon, Evelyn, Shiv. Okay, the ones that I want to bring up right now, I'm kind of just focusing on the top of the list right now, though.
Yeah, of course. Mhm.
Shaco, I think solo queue is really strong.
Yep.
I think she's quite powerful in solo queue. Clear 6'9". 9 ganks, that's not bad. Early presence. His early presence is not that great, but it's still there.
Mhm.
Late presence 9. Team fight presence 7. How would we have to move this guy out, Shaco? What does he have that's low?
Team fight could be a little bit higher or objective control since he's able to clone and take dragons really early. That's
You know what? I think he's honestly in the right place. Increasing any of these numbers to a 10, it makes
doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Doesn't make that much sense. Just because I think that the Shaco team fight is pretty strong.
Tier 1 basically means you can play any of these junglers up to challenger and solo queue, and they're unbelievable. So I think what might move him up is actually moving Master Yi down a little bit. I don't know if Master Yi deserves to be where he is right now, given the Feral Fire nerfs.
I mean, I still think Master Yi was fine before Feral Fire.
Okay.
I think he's great, and I think but just because you ran him with Elder Lizard at the time, so it's not really a thing that kind of gutted him. I still think he was really strong.
Do you think he's that strong, like tier 1 strong?
I mean, I wouldn't pick him if I'm on my last game. If I'm on my promo game, I'm probably not picking Master Yi on my last game, or Shaco for that matter.
Yeah.
Hey, okay, there's a couple more changes I want to see to this list that I think would be really useful.
Okay, cool.
Shyvana, I think should be dropped down.
Okay, so.
And I think for Shaco, the best thing we can do is, as how Otarian said, just increase his late game. 10 out of 10 in his late game. His late game is, I mean, you can't actually fight him.
All right. Shyvana should be dropped down in what respect? Her clear is definitely the best. Early presence is decent with exhaust. Late is a 10. We could drop her at objective control, team fight presence.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point for Shaco to drop his versatility to like a 5. Or he's not versatile by any means.
Yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm.
And as for Shyvana, clear 10 out of 10. I agree with that. Ganks 5. He's a pretty poor ganks. Early presence, 7 out of 10. Late presence, good. Team fight, 9. And he's probably a 10 in team fight on Shyvana.
Okay.
Then that means that since we really want, since we're buffing Shiv, this pretty much shows, okay, so just get great clear, late presence, great team fight. Seems like a lot of stuff, but we need to drop, I think we need to drop her down. So by that, we should just lower her ganks. So I do think her ganks are complete garbage.
Okay, like a 3?
Yeah, her ganks are terrible.
Oh, okay, a 3 lowers her to tier 2. His ganks are so important.
Yeah.
Is she tier 2?
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
I'd definitely say she's a tier 2, especially without Feral Flare.
Okay, so let's update that.
And then there is one thing that I think is a god jungler in solo queue, which is Kayle jungle. I think she.
Oh, really?
If I have to pick something in solo queue to get me a win, I'm going with Kayle.
So tier 1?
Yeah, solo queue. Like I think my record in solo queue is incredibly high right now for Kayle. I know my main is at least. I think my Smurf is too. Let me just check it out. Let's see. On my Smurf, my solo queue record is 12 wins and 1 loss. And on my Smurf, it's let's see.
I'd say we put Kayle at a 10 out of 10 late presence. Right?
And
Okay.
hang on, let's see. Kayle, clear, 8 out of 10. You could put a 9. Very fast clear.
Yeah.
Ganks are pretty weak, so I think the strength we're gonna have for, I guess 7 is fine. You could do a 6. Your ganks are really not that great. There's obviously way better gankers. Early presence 6. Yeah, her early presence is not that great.
Yeah.
Late presence though. So what we want to make her high, but not too high. So we're gonna keep the gank and early presence pretty low, but everything else is pretty much like a 10 out of 10. Like late presence, a late game Kayle will kill anything. Team fight presence, 10 out of 10. Objective control, like an 8. And it's actually 7's fine, and then versatility would be like a 10. So you could pretty much run her into anything.
Okay, that makes her exactly tie with Shyvana. And you think she's still better than Shyvana?
Yeah, I still think she's better than Shyvana. So then
I'm gonna drop Shyvana's ganks further then.
No, I think that's fine. I think if we just give Kayle a little bit better ganks, she'd be better. So like a 7, try a 7 ganks.
That moves her into tier 1, which actually moves her very decently into tier 1 because ganks are so important. So that moves her above. That looks about right. That moves her above Shaco, Nocturne, Wukong, and Master Yi. I like that.
Yeah,
because I think she is strong, but not quite as strong as Evelyn, Pantheon, Vi, all those guys. So I think that's pretty good. A couple of guys that I want to know about. I feel I haven't really dealt with Amumu for a long time, and he's kind of sitting down there in tier 2, 3-ish, but I feel like he's better for solo queue, especially at lower elos.
Okay. For the person
he's number 28 right now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna answer a question that somebody was asking.
Okay.
Nasus is an 8 late game because you're not lane Nasus, you're jungle Nasus, so you don't get any Q stacks. Anyways, Amumu. Amumu right now has, let's see, 6 in clear. His clear is better than 6 for sure. So I'd give him like an 8 in clear. It's pretty good.
Okay.
And
I did that because it was blue dependent.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I don't think it's now. His Spirit Stone is not that bad.
Okay.
Actually,
8 in ganks. His ganks are pretty good. 6 out of 10 early presence. That sounds about right. His early presence is not that great.
Yeah, it's garbage. Yeah.
Late presence is a 9. He's really good. Really good. Team fight presence, I think it's like a 10 out of 10. I mean, either you avoid a Mumu or you die. Active control, like you give him like a 7, and then maybe a 7 as well in versatility.
Okay, that puts him close to tier 1, which is decent. I've been wondering about him.
I mean, if you can survive early game with him, yeah, great. He's a great champion.
What about on those tier 2s, Hecarim is ranked fairly low because of mana problems.
What did you say?
Number 23, Hecarim.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
Sorry, my Californians shining through. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think Hecarim's that good at all. So
yeah. Okay.
that's honestly a fine place for him.
And Rengar.
Rengar. I have not played Rengar after he got kind of buffed a little bit after being nerfed.
Yeah.
So where is he at right now? He's above Olaf.
Number 20.
Yeah, I could definitely see that being above Olaf. He definitely has that stealth surprise factor in solo queue. So now I just want to look at the list again. See Lee, Elise, Kha'Zix, Jarvan, Sinzao, Jax, Vi, Ganking. Kayle. This all seems pretty straightforward. I think we could drop the Sin ganks a little bit. I don't think Sin should be that high up there.
Okay, so like a 9 or an 8?
9.
Yeah. 9, yeah. Okay, let me see if I can see what happens to him then. Puts him to an 8. All right, it puts him to rank 8. I could drop it to 8 and drop. He's still being tier 1.
I think the list I think I'd want to see for solo queue would be like if I have to give you like a 1 to 10.
Yeah.
The Lee, Elise, Kha'Zix, not Evelyn. It's not in the particular order for the like remaining 4, starting like 4 to 10, but Evelyn, Pantheon, Vi, Kayle, Xin, Jarvan, all those should be like right next to each other.
Okay, they're pretty close.
Jax, I mean, I think Jax should be in this cluster, but not
as high as he is.
Not as high as Pantheon.
Okay, then Pantheon can get a little bit buffed, I think, because his gank should probably go to a 9. Given at level 6, he becomes an absolute monster.
Yeah, okay. Try that, and then you can give. I think 7 would be fine on the Jax gank, just because I feel like from playing Jax, his gank kind of feels like a weaker Vi gank early game, right?
Right.
You jump in, you E, and then that's
it's
about it. It's
definitely weaker, yeah.
You're not following up. By Vi, it's kind of the same thing. You jump in, you E, you auto, and that's kind of the thing, but Vi offers a little bit more damage.
Definitely.
Okay, so we're looking at Lee, Elise, Kha'Zix, Jarvan, Pantheon, Xin, Vi, Jax, Eve, Kayle, Shaco. Okay, that makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah.
And then one that I do think should be increased for solo queue, though, which is another one that I would definitely pick if I want to win, is Fiddlesticks. I think Fiddlesticks.
Okay, I got to get your reasoning on this one.
You don't like Fiddlesticks?
I've never liked him because I just feel like he gets like put him against the Lee, for example, and you know it's
just fight Lee. You just fight Lee Sin.
He can't fight Lee, can he?
Yeah, you can.
How?
Drain. You just drain him.
And so, I mean, you think he can defend his jungle against Lee?
If you can outplay the guys to defend it, yeah.
All right. How do we buff him? Like, what do we do with him? I have no idea what to do with this guy, so help me out.
His clear is pretty damn bad. That's true.
It is, yeah.
8 out in the gank. Early game, his gank is not that great, so I think 8's fine.
Okay.
Early presence 6. Early presence, that's right. It's pretty bad. Yep. Late presence out. 10 out of 10. That is a strong early presence. I mean, late game presence, late team fight, late.
Because of his ult?
Late, yeah.
Now, to keep in mind, this is out of jungle. Doesn't building Shroud or Golem make him more make him get less damage because you're putting 1600 gold into that?
No, what do you mean? You'd build the AP item, the AP jungle item.
Okay, so it gives him AP anyway.
Yeah, and then team fight presence 10 out of 10. I mean,
wow.
Fear is what incredible. So is silence, the silence bounce. Objective control 10 out of 10. Versatility. I drop versatility a little bit. Not that versatile. Actually, yeah, that's fine. I would put him pretty high up there.
Yeah, we'll see where it puts him. I think it's pretty decent. It puts him at number 12, which is pretty good.
I definitely see that for sure.
Okay.
See, here's the thing though. What people aren't really getting about Fiddlesticks is that you need to play for the early game, right? You have to play for your weakest part because that's where the part you're gonna get abused. So you don't need a ward. You don't need health pots to jungle. So you can just wards to start, right?
Yeah,
just
right.
A ward. You could even start with a pink ward.
Right.
So you can just place wards at level 1, so you'll be able to see if you get invaded. And what you do when somebody invades you is that with your wards, you'll be prepared for them to come. And once they approach you, you simply bait them in by just basically starting the buff if you know the guy's there. And then you just throw a silence at him. And what should happen is that if you position yourself and throw the silence properly, you'll get a bounce, multiple bounces between the guy and
the creep or whatever he's doing. Yeah.
Potentially hit a guy 3 times with a silence bounce and just destroy him. Completely obliterate him with that. It does a lot of damage if you hit him that many times. So it's not he has the tools to defend himself. Now, if he gets invaded by multiple people, yeah, but thing is, this is solo queue. You're not going to get invaded by multiple people. So
no, you won't.
It's going to be, he's pretty good in that regard. So let's see, Lee, Elise, Kha'Zix, Jarvan, and it's kind of a little bit difficult to try to think about this list across all ELOs.
Oh yeah, it is. It's got to be. I mean, the best way to do it is like generally find the medium. I guess the medium is silver, so that's not good. Probably gold plat-ish. I think is probably because I feel like plat is silver. you know, at this point. So I think that it's like it definitely feels to me that ELO is a lot less distributed before diamond. So like platinum, you know, plays pretty much the same as silverish, goldish. You know, the players don't get that much better in plat at all. So I think that if we
on the plat smurf, and I can definitely concur.
So if we just if we kind of make the list for below challenger, I think we can get a general idea of because most players, I mean, challengers already know what to do. So this list is not viable for challenger people because they don't need to look at it. So the list really starts at Diamond 2 and below, and I don't think there's that much skill level differential between Diamond 2 and Goldish. I mean, really. I mean, with how the system is right now.
Let's see.
I mean, it wouldn't make a lot of sense to build this list for the 200 challenger players, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna look at the list from the bottom up now.
Yeah, and see if you find any like really glaring stuff, like any kind of
I'm not gonna bother with the champions like Brand or Garen.
No, don't waste your time. Yeah, don't waste your time. Yeah.
So, poor Nautilus at the end of the bottom, at the end of the list. Poor guy. Karthus. I think Karthus and Nasus could use a little bit of a upgrade up there. I think they're pretty good junglers. So new nuclear 4, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it is terrible.
It is terrible. Gang 6 out of 10. Yeah, early presence though, he's got quite a bit of it. So I'd put a 9 in that early presence.
This is Nunu?
Yeah. Because the thing is, Nunu doesn't really. He's not going to kill the other guy, but he's just going to pretty much watch him.
Yeah.
He's just going to snowball him and watch him. And I mean, that's presence. So.
Okay.
Late game, he could be in the right situation. He'd be like I could see a 7, like a 7 the early presence.
All right.
Same with the team fight, 7 of that. Objective control 8. That should give him a little bit of a buff. We'll see where he ends up going.
That would put him to just the beginning of tier 3, right next to Dr. Mundo. Just pretty good.
Let's see. Gang 6.
We have a super huge amount of hipster junglers right above that, like Morgana, Diana, Aatrox are all hipster junglers.
I give Nunu a little bit of an extra change to put an 8 in team fight and late game presence.
8 in late game, okay.
Yeah. And then I'm not sure how to feel about increasing his team fight presence, because it's pretty much if the other guy wants to dive, then yeah, his team fight presence is amazing, like unbelievable. You practically, there's no better anti-bruiser than Nunu.
Yeah.
But if you dive, then it's like, well, you're just a blood boil.
I feel like I should drop Diana.
All right, hang on. Diana.
28.
She's got 7 in clear, 7 in gang. Ganks are like a 6. Yeah, that was 5. You can put a 5 on her gang. Her ganks are pretty bad.
Yeah.
Early presence 6. That's fine. Late presence 8. 8. Versatility like a 5. Her versatility is pretty bad.
Okay.
That should drop her significantly.
And Morgana is actually really good.
I don't think I would. I mean, I guarantee I've never played Morgana jungle, but just thinking about it, I can't see how that champion could possibly carry solo queue.
Her team fight presence is pretty incredible, and if you can get through early game, she's like a little Amumu. It seems kind of crazy, but she's actually really good. Hang on,
I have no actual facts on Morgana jungle, so I can't really say for sure then.
Okay, hang on one second. I just need to reverse it because I think I just split versatility instead of the other one. So I have to reverse the list real quick. Let's see. Aatrox?
Aatrox, I wish he was crazy good, but
yeah.
Let's see, where is he?
He's currently number 26 after we dropped Diana.
His clear is like a 6. He's got pretty bad clear. Ganks 8 out of 10. That's fine. Early 8. Late 6. Team fight. That's fine, actually, where he's at. He's not really good at all.
Let's see.
Cho definitely should be lower.
Okay.
Cho should not be as close to Hecarim as he is now. So it'd be just late presence to be increased.
Increased?
Like, yeah, increases late, but lower his early with the ganks as well.
You think he's a 10 out of 10 late?
No, like an 8, not a 6 though.
No. His late presence is a 9 right now.
Oh, okay. But his early presence should be lower, and his gank should be lower as well.
Okay.
His early presence, his gank should be like a 6. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see what that does. Okay. Volibear probably needs to be pushed to tier 3, I think.
Yeah, his ganks need to drop a little bit. His gank, because the thing is, after he got nerfed, they purposely nerfed his gank. So that's
exactly.
And there's one that was mentioned. You have Karthus in here?
Yeah, Karthus is number 38.
What's up?
Okay. Karthus has 7 in clear. That's probably do an 8 in clear. His clear is not bad. His gank 6 out of 10. That's fine. Early presence great, but his late game is definitely a 10. Same with his team fight. And objective control, I put it like a 6. 6 seems about right.
Okay.
And versatility is a 6. 2 is way too low, I'd say.
He can be picked into that many compositions?
Oh yeah.
All right.
It's like, you don't need anything. When you're Karthus, all you need to do is just press R. So as long as you're farmed, you just press R and then keep getting kills.
Okay. Very good. Can you take Gragas real quick? Currently number 23.
Have not played enough Gragas jungle, but I can say that I guess I don't feel comfortable just saying stuff about him because I haven't played with the new.
We can leave him where he is. Yeah.
Played the new champion.
Do you see any of the masteries being wrong? Because those are just like that's kind of an important part of the list, but I might have some incorrect just because I just might.
All right, let's see. 21-9, 21-9, 21-9. I'd put Jax 21-9.
Okay.
Sure. Kayle 21-9 as well. Shyvana 921. Phoenix Udyr 021-9.
Oh wow.
Amumu either 921 or 0920 or 021-9. Rengar, that's fine. Olaf, that's fine. Braga's probably right. Hecarim. Yeah.
3 is for the movement speed.
Yeah, I think it'd probably be better off getting the actual damage and the movement speed at this point with Hecarim, so it's like 921 instead of 621-3, because the movement speed is practically negligible.
Okay.
Morgana, 21-9. Nunu 621-3, that's fine, but you can just, with Nunu you can do a lot of random stuff, just whatever it is, not 21 offense. Maokai 021-9. Cho either 921 or 021-9. Trundle 921. Zach 021-9. NASA 0 either 021-9 or 921. Skarner, the same thing as Nasus. Leona 021-9.
We're at the point where it doesn't matter about these junglers. Okay. Zach, is he in the right place? Actually, when we were going through, I was thinking about him.
Yeah, his team fight and late game is pretty good. But aside from that, that's pretty much all he's got. So those two could be buffed.
Buff those a little bit, yeah. Okay. Okay, does this look pretty good right now?
It does.
Yeah.